You listen to what happened to this guy. You keep going into the woods with zero knowledge. You will pay the price. You think this is some joke? I won't be watching that stupid show. Bigfoot are dangerous.
All right, gather round, friends, because this isn't just any campfire tale. This one's from the heart, from the depths of the Sam Houston National Forest, right on the Lonestar Hiking Trail. Ever heard of the Cagle area? If not, consider yourself lucky, because what happened to me there, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. It was late fall, the kind of season where the leaves have turned to gold, blanketing the ground with a colorful tapestry, and the air bites with the promise of winter. I decided to take my hunting dog, Max, out for a few days in the wild. Max was more than just a dog. He was my buddy, my protector, my eyes and ears in the woods. He had this way of sniffing out danger before it became danger, or finding the best spots for a camp. We made camp as the sun began to dip, casting long shadows that danced with the wind, creating eerie patterns on the forest floor. Everything was perfect, or so I thought. We had our tent up, the fire crackling like the laughter of old friends, and the stars starting to peek through the pine branches, each one a tiny promise of light in the encroaching darkness. But then, Max, he stopped dead in his tracks, his ears pricked up like antennas, his eyes locked on the surrounding darkness as if he could see something beyond human vision. I called out to him, "What's wrong, boy?" But he didn't move, just stared, a low growl rumbling in his chest like distant thunder. That's when I felt it too, the eerie sensation of being watched. It wasn't just a feeling you get when you're alone in the woods. It was like something was studying us, waiting. I scanned the area, but all I could see were trees, more trees, and the occasional flicker of eyes from the local wildlife. But this felt different, personal, almost as if the forest itself was holding its breath. We ate in silence, me trying to shake off the feeling, but it clung to me like a second skin. Night fell fast, enveloping us in its cold embrace, and with it came the noises, not the usual forest symphony of insects and owls, but something else. A deep, guttural sound that seemed to vibrate through the ground, making the very earth under our feet feel alive with menace. And then, the smell hit us. It was unlike anything I've ever encountered, a stench of decay, like a graveyard had opened its gates, mixed with something wild, something primeval, like the musk of an ancient predator. I tried to sleep, but every sound made me jump. The forest was alive with whispers and creaks, each one a potential threat in my mind. Then, around what must have been midnight, Max suddenly bolted from the tent, his barking turning into terrified yelps that echoed through the silent night. I was out of my sleeping bag in a flash, grabbing my flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness, revealing brief glimpses of chaos. Max was running, his form just visible in the light, chased by something I couldn't see but could feel in my bones. I ran after him, my heart pounding like a war drum, the flashlight beam bouncing wildly around me. The sounds of Max's distress led me into the heart of the forest, where the trees stood like silent sentinels, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. Suddenly, his yelp cut short, replaced by a sound that chilled me to my bones. A scream, not of pain, but of terror, ending in a sickening crunch that reverberated through the night. I searched for him until dawn, calling his name into the void, my voice growing hoarse with fear and desperation. When the first light broke, it revealed a scene from a nightmare. Max was there, but not how I knew him. His body was torn, limbs at odd angles, blood soaking the ground beneath him like a gruesome painting. Around us, the forest was in ruins. Trees lay toppled, as if a giant had decided to play bowling with nature. There were claw marks on bark, deep gashes that no known animal could make, the wood splintered and raw. But the most horrifying part? The footprints. They were massive, each step sunk deep into the earth, with a shape that defied explanation. They were not just large, they were monstrous, with claws that dug into the ground like the hand of fate. They led away from the scene, into deeper woods, where no man should follow, disappearing into a darkness that felt more like a warning. I was in shock, numb, but I knew I couldn't keep this to myself. I called the game warden, hoping for answers or at least some semblance of normalcy. When he arrived, his face paled at the sight, but what he said next made my blood run colder than the morning air. "Listen," he whispered, his eyes darting around as if the trees themselves might be listening. "What happened here? It's not the first time. But we don't talk about it. You understand? You go to the news and you might just be the next headline." He spoke with the weight of someone who knew secrets better left buried in the earth. He made it clear that there were things in these woods that were best left undisturbed, legends that walked on two legs but were not human, tales of creatures from old folklore, of beings that should not exist but do, lurking in the dense undergrowth, silent until night falls. He advised me to forget, to move on, but how could I? Max was gone, and something out there had done this, something that left more questions than answers. So I kept quiet, not out of fear, but out of respect for Max, out of a newfound respect for the wild and its mysteries. But now, sitting here with you all, by the warmth of this fire, I can't help but share this warning. Whatever is in Sam Houston National Forest, it's real, it's dangerous, and it's watching. If you decide to hike those trails, remember Max, remember those footprints, and maybe, just maybe, reconsider where you lay your head under the stars. Remember, some places hold stories that are better left untold, secrets that sleep in the shadows, waiting for those who dare to listen.